What's up, YouTube? It's your girl, Nikki, and I am back. Hey, y'all. Good morning. Well, almost afternoon, evening time, like 11:30. But, I have a story time for y'all. And this story, I don't think I've spoken on it, but I have spoken about, my, treatment of, I'm saying, my family and stuff. Y'all, I'm always talking about my treatment from my family because I promise y'all, I've never had just so many friends. And if I did have friends, it wasn't a bad relationship. The reason why we probably not friends today is because they probably moved away. But nothing ever ended in such a bad thing. So, a lot of my lessons that I've learned in life came from family. And I can say that my family probably feel the same way. But, you know, I can't say I'm different, but I can say I'm different because even when people mistreated me or anything like that, I didn't try to do the same to them. I always give people grace, you know what I'm saying? Because it just don't be in my heart to just be nasty towards each other. Like, I mean, towards people or each other. I just don't have that bone in my body. But so I'm gonna make this story because it may be a little long or whatever, but it's not. I try to shorten it as much as I can. Make a long story, somewhat short. I had a friend, a bestie that I met that I was when I was working at City Trends. I wasn't a manager at this time. I was just working there, and just so happened we worked together, but we weren't friends or anything like that. But she needed help. She was here. She was a military brat. Her father lived on base, but she had her own place. So off base, because it kind of strict on that, and she didn't want to live on base. So she needed help at the time with I think a light bill or something, and I gave her the money. Now we worked together, like I said, but we was not friends. We barely had any conversation or anything, and I helped her. And from that moment on, like that day when I helped her, not even really knowing who she is, she was like, Nick about to be my friend. And we became besties. Like, I was with her all the time, whatever. She wasn't from here, so she didn't have family here, only her dad. Her dad military, so he was kind of strict, you know what I'm saying? So I spent a lot of time with her. And so much too, it was like before I met her, like I used to go out with my family, whatever. But then we really started going out to the club that we was going to because it had changed. It wasn't the same no more. So we started going to the club and we just started hanging around like family at people's houses and stuff like that, at our family houses. But once I met my friend, I started to hang with her more than I was hanging with my family. Now, to me, I'm doing nothing wrong. I just met somebody, like, she was a nice looking girl, I ain't gonna lie. Had a nice shape, nice body, whatever, and she, you know what I'm saying, was good with the fellas, whatever. But that had nothing to do with me, you know what I'm saying? She did what she wanted to do, I did what I wanted to do. I ain't judge her for what she did or nothing like that. But, you know what I'm saying, as I got older, I started to, see probably what other people probably saw. But when I was hanging with her, I never talked about my family, never down my family or anything like that. It was just, I just chose to hang with her. And when I tell y'all, all HELL broke loose when I started to hang with her. It was like, at first, I was trying to invite her to my family house. But everybody don't be receiving of people, you know what I'm saying? I felt like she was cool, but that don't mean my folks thought she was cool. So it was like an incident happened where my cousin that I was close to, we was at her house, and her dude kind of somewhat, I would say, made my friend feel uncomfortable. Like, whatever. And she did not tell me that night. She told me like a couple days later or something like that. And the thing was, the reason why she told me was because we was finna get ready to hang out again, and I was trying to invite her to my cousin's house. And she was like, no, I don't think I want to go over there because the dude made me feel uncomfortable, and I don't want to start anything because of, she was like, he just made her feel uncomfortable. He was looking at her, whatever. And she didn't want, anything to be in the crossfire. Like, nobody to catch him looking and, to start any mess. So, I was like, you know, okay. So, we didn't go. Whatever. Like I said, she didn't have any family here. So, I just chose to, entertain her. It was nothing against my family. I just chose to have a friend and hang around my friend. And so, next thing you know, something was going on with my cousin and her dude at the time. And she told me something, you know what I'm saying? So, being that we close, I'm thinking it's okay for me to tell her what my friend had told me. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't think that it was gonna be a problem. It wasn't a problem. It wasn't a problem until I mentioned it to one of my aunts. My aunt wasn't living here at the time. She was not living here. But she came back home for the weekend. So me and her was walking to the store and stuff like that. And she was, just asking me what had been going on and stuff like that. And all I told her, y'all, was, I don't know, because I really haven't been around the family. I just been hanging with, my friend, because my friend felt uncomfortable around my cousin dude. So I just been with my friend. Now, I did not know at this point that my aunt was going to take the conversation that I told her back to whomever she told it to. I don't know who she told it to, but I'm pretty sure. See, when you, I have learned now, when you the youngest and you really don't know how everybody else is, you just starting to hang around people, your own family, you don't really know the messiness that it is, because I wasn't really privy to it. I didn't know that my family was just that. Well, I would say I didn't know that my aunt was gonna go back and tell people as if I was just talking about my cousin or something like that. I was just saying I wasn't around because of that situation. You know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to hang with my friend, and I didn't want her to be lonely. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know. I didn't know. And maybe that's just my fault for I guess not knowing, being dumbfounded, So after that, I get a phone call from my cousin one night. I think we were finna get ready to go out. And she was like, she called me and she would ask me, did I go around telling people, the situation? And I was like, no, I didn't go around telling nobody. I just said it to my aunt. I said, and then I wasn't saying it to be just negative. I just was explaining the situation and why I really wasn't around the family like that. You know what I'm saying? I just had a friend that I wanted to hang with. You know what I'm saying? That's it. It really wasn't, just no big deal, that I thought it wasn't. But every time when you tell a story to somebody that's going to be messy, they're going to go back and be messy with the situation. So I'm assuming I told my aunt went and told somebody else told somebody else, like, and it got big, like, out of hand, like, to the point where my whole family, everybody that I was hanging with, turned on me. Because I started to hang with my friend. Everybody. Y'all, when I tell y'all, even my sister was coming to me telling me, well, Nikki, everybody ain't your friend. And I'm like, what is the problem? Like, How everybody ain't my friend? She the only friend that I had. I didn't have a lot of friends. And she did not talk. Like when I was with her, we wasn't talking about my family, just, you know what I'm saying, doing things negatively. Like I was not that type of person. I really was not. I just was hanging with her. And then I had a child too, but my child used to be at home with my sister. And I would go, you know what I'm saying, well, at nighttime after I, get off work and stuff like that. I would go hang with her because she had kids and we couldn't really go out because then nobody want to watch her kids. Like, I did not understand why I was receiving so much hate behind hanging with my friend. I did not understand it. I did not understand it, y'all. I promise y'all I did not. And when I tell y'all, my whole family turned on, like, the females didn't like me, but the niggas liked her. Every nigga, well, I ain't gonna say, every nigga, but almost every male that was around me, that was in my family, that seen her, wanted to holler. You know what I'm saying? They didn't care. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to holler at her. And she, you know what I'm saying? She probably talked, you know what I'm saying? But she wasn't just giving it up to everybody that I know of, like, for real, for real. So, like, y'all, everything was, I noticed there was a lot of tension, you know what I'm saying? So I just used to hang. It was a time when Easter came and my cousin called me, pretty much cussing me out, like saying all kind of stuff, like, for real, like, just cussing me out, really. Then one night, my friend, she wanted to, you know what I'm saying, go home and stuff like that. And her dude was, you know what I'm saying, wanted to have some alone time with her. So I was at home and um, my aunt invited me, was telling me that the family was finna go hang out. I felt some kind of way. I didn't want to go, but I went. I gets over there. My cousin is there. Of course, drinking, smoking, all this is included. Y'all, when I tell y'all, I just was like, okay, I walked up friendly. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Speaking to people. You know what I'm saying? Everything was cool. I was smoking at the time, so I had a blunt in my hand. I was asking my cousin if she wanted to hit the blunt and stuff like that. Everything was cool. Cool. Then next thing you know, I don't know really where things went wrong, but I know my cousin at the time, she was finna get married to the dude. I didn't feel like it was just, I was still happy for her regardless of what, you know what I'm saying, the situation, because I mean, just somebody looking at you, I mean, you feel uncomfortable or well, you know what I'm saying, but I don't feel like that's a reason for you to not get married or to throw away your whole relationship just because, of what the situation was. So I was still happy for my cousin. Everybody choose who they want to be with, So, y'all, when I tell y'all, that night, we were sitting on one of my other cousins' porch. It was like me, my aunt, then like two other cousins, and then there was some more people around and all this other stuff. So it was like my cousin had hell in her that night because she went down the line just calling people out, like just trying to, I would say fight for her marriage, because even within that time, I was hearing a lot of other stuff too that was going on. But I had nothing to do with that. I was just hearing about it. People were saying, I didn't know how messy my family was. But they were messy, and they was, you know what I'm saying, people had their opinions about her relationship. I did not. Everybody choose who they want to be with. Oh, well, I have no opinion on it. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like if you can't judge nobody else's, you know what I'm saying, relationship. Like, I would never judge nobody's relationship or anything that they have going on because I know my shit ain't perfect. I know my life ain't perfect, so why would I talk about yours? Like, that's just always been my train of thought. That's just been my mind frame. I just wouldn't just judge people. Now I will talk about encounters that we have with each other and why a person is the way that they is towards me, or you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. But I never talk about anybody's relationship or anything else that they had going on. Like, that wasn't for me. That's not for me. So she went down the line. She was talking about people and everything else. She had all this hell built up in her from everything I guess she was hearing about what people were saying about her relationship. Once I seen that happening, y'all, I was like, oh, it's time for me to go. I don't stick around for the mess, for the BS. Like, I ain't got nothing to do with this. So I was like, auntie, like, come on, let's go. Because her and my auntie had words that night too. So I was telling my auntie, I was like, auntie, let's go. And she was like, Nikki, you ain't going nowhere. And I was like, yes, I am. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, no, you ain't. And then, y'all, next thing you know, it was this shirt that I love wearing that shirt too. I used to love that shirt. And she grabbed my shirt and pretty much tried to throw me on the ground, because she didn't hit me. She just grabbed me. And then I was coming downstairs. So, you know, and then it was like everybody, you know what I'm saying, just piled around her. And, you know what I'm saying, pretty much broke us up. And the thing about it was, I could tell, you know what I'm saying, y'all, that I am still kind of hurt by the situation, because I thought, you know what I'm saying, I didn't know at that time that things would get to that point. But it's like I felt it, and because I seen, you know how you see other people interact with each other, you at other family functions, and you see how people fussing and stuff like that. But I was never a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was young. You know what I'm saying? My mama had done passed at this time. I really didn't have no direction. I just really hung with the people who invited me. And, you know, my cousin, she did do a lot for me. No lie. Like, she used to do my hair. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she did a lot once when we were going out, but we had stopped going out to the club. So that's when I started to hang with my friend. Like, I just felt like we ain't going to no club no more, you know what I'm saying? So, shoot, why I can't just hang with my friend? That's all I was trying to do, y'all. That's it. It was nothing towards anybody. I just was trying to hang with my friend. But it all turned. So it turned into this big thing, like for real, for real. And, you know, I can't say that she wrote me a letter, but the thing about it is, she wrote the letter, and when I got it, I was asleep. And when I woke up, I couldn't even find the letter. I think my brother had got it, or somebody had done got the letter, because when I woke up, I couldn't even find the letter no more. I tried to look for it and couldn't even find it. And it's like, with everybody turning against me, because that's not even the first, I mean, that's not the only time that I've walked up on people talking about me, or I've had to deal with any strife. Like, I have dealt with a lot dealing with my family. But I was never the person to do the same thing that they did to me, that they did to me, to do it to them. I never was that person. I would talk about why things happen and why people treat people certain ways, but I never tried to, you know, come against somebody or wish bad on people or anything like that. But, you know, I feel like losing my mom is the reason why I really I did put up with a lot from my family, because I didn't have my dad was still living, but my dad had his own thing going on. And actually, that night that I called my cousin had done grabbed me. My aunt came and picked me up, took me home. Her mom came and picked me up, took me home, and then I called my daddy, and I was crying on the phone to my dad, and all he had to say was, "Nikki, that's your family." That's it. That's all he had to say. And when he didn't come to my rescue or try to say anything about anything, I felt like I had nobody. Nobody. I had people to come to me and say, "Oh, well, she's sorry," and stuff like that. But it was like, because of something so big and so dramatic, it was like, it should have been more. It should have been actually talked about. And me and her never really talked about that situation. But to me, it wasn't even just about her. It was just everybody. Like, I didn't find everybody was against me because I chose to hang with my friend. And I didn't do nothing. I promise y'all, I thought I was just having a friend. I didn't know that I had to, and like I said, I did try, but I just felt like in that situation, it would have ended up bad either way because, um, let's say my friend did continue to come around. If she would have continued to come around and we would have started hanging with my family, eventually, whatever the dude was doing probably would have came to the light. You know? So I thought I was doing the right thing by telling her. But I see what I messed up was by telling my aunt. Because I didn't know. Like I said, I was just having a conversation. I was not trying to really be I wasn't trying to be messy. It's not even really. I wasn't trying to be messy. All I told my aunt was I wasn't really hanging around the family like that because I had my friend and she was uncomfortable because of something that happened. I thought that was just between me and my aunt. But I know and see now that it was people gonna run tell that. It's really it's only a few people that you're gonna be able to trust. Excuse me, it brought tears to my eyes just thinking about it. But and like I said, it's not even just my cousin, it's the fact that my whole family turned on me at that point. And then other things had done happen too. You know what I'm saying? After that, I don't walk up on so many situations where people be talking about me and stuff like that. But like I said, I talk about situations, but I do not talk about a person, household work, you know what I'm saying? Because some things come to me, and so I may give my opinion on it, but it's never to just down a person. It really be making me wonder, like, why the person is doing the things that they are doing. You know, and just like I've told people plenty of times, you know what I'm saying, I do respect the women in my family simply because I've seen them go through relationships, be good in relationships, and you know what I'm saying, but regardless of who they was with, they always held their own. And I respected that, and they can have a man or not, you know what I'm saying, they still was tough and still handled things the way that they were supposed to. I feel like I am different from the rest because I think I'm probably the only person that even try to recognize the good in people, even when it's been a whole lot of bad. I really try to see the good in people, and I know a lot of the hurt and pain comes from past things that they've had to deal with. But even if I've been through, even the pain that I've been through, I would never want to inflict that on somebody else. I don't. I really tried. Like I told y'all before, I tried last year, all last year, giving people happy birthdays, trying to, get a closer relationship with God, and trying to spread God's love. You know what I'm saying? I really did. But I seen that it wasn't being received. People see what I post, see what I put in the little text, don't even respond because they stuck on being negative. And that's why I say I'm different, because regardless of what you do to me, I'm not gonna let you make me become you. No. You just, all of the hurt and pain just pushing me closer to God. That's why I'm choosing to have a relationship with Him. I'm choosing to get closer to Him because nothing else has made me really just wanna just stick around and try to force relationships with family anymore. I don't try to force anything. If you talk to me, then okay, oh well. But if you don't, I'm not gonna force it. I'm grown enough to to admit when I'm wrong. For number one, I'm grown enough to admit when I'm wrong, and I'm grown enough to try to move on from relationships. But a lot of things you can't really move on from because families are so used to sweeping stuff under the rug and acting as if nothing happened. And what people don't know is, like y'all, Alicia Keys got the song Brand New Me. And I feel like I did grow up under people, I would say, because I lost my mom. And at that point, whoever came into my life and tried to guide me was whomever that was. You know what I'm saying? I didn't force it. I stayed with people because of my daddy, what I'm saying, wanted me to stay with people, whatever. But it was just never just no real guidance. It was, when it was time to go to the club and stuff like that, people, what I'm saying, they come to me, do this, do that. But when I don't do things how you want me to do it because my mind frame is in a different place than you, then you want to talk about me. Then you want to judge me. Then you want to, what I'm saying, do all this other stuff when you have not walked a mile in the shoes that I've had to walk in. So if you can't understand me for me, then I would rather for us not to have a relationship. Y'all, I didn't even know I was gonna tear up from that conversation. I mean, from that story. But when I tell y'all, it's been a lot. And like I said, I don't owe y'all when I tell y'all. I did so much apologizing last year that I know I don't owe nobody else an apology but myself for all the things that I went through that I allowed people to do to me. Y'all, I had even a cousin that slapped the mess out of me just for, and she the type of person like fight, cut, and all this other stuff, and she one of them crazy cuz, you know what I'm saying. I know some people that'll be like, yeah, man, that bitch would have had to fight. No, because it just would have got worse. So I just, let it go. But it just made me see family for who they really is. And that's why I said maybe God exposed all that. Maybe I went through all that so that God will show me, like, Nikki, I'm your father, I'm your family, I am everything that you need. And I hate that it took me this long to really get it. I always knew God. I always had a connection, felt the Holy Spirit in my life, but I just didn't turn to it because I didn't know. Like I just was trying to follow and be around other people, but I never felt like I fitted in because people that I hung around my family, they still drink, they still do whatever they want to do. I don't do that. Like I will try to have a drink just to loosen up around people and not be, I won't say judgmental, but not be so, so bottled up into myself. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like maybe it's time for me to be bottled up into myself and start actually loving on myself, because I never did that. I never just loved on myself the way that I'm trying to do this year in 2026. Like like I said, I lived that lifestyle. I did smoke, I did drink, I had, what I'm saying, dealt with men and you know what I'm saying, all of that. I did it all. You know what I'm saying? But it never just pleased me. Because y'all, I deal with a man, I ain't gonna lie. I deal with a man, and then if it's the moment, if we could good and gravy, the moment I see you really acting crazy on me or doing something, moving differently, or you trying to talk to the next person, all this stuff, y'all, I completely just shut it out. I don't try to call you, blow up your phone. I don't do none of that. I just move on, because the worst thing you can do is see a person playing in your face and continue to let them play in your face. So I won't do it. You know what I'm saying? I know the man that's for me is for me. And I'm not trying to force nobody to be with me or force nobody to deal with me or anything like that. I'm not that type of person. That's why I don't be understand. My husband be watching Fatal Attraction, and these females be crazy over these men. Like, girl, I couldn't do it. I could not do it. But yeah, so y'all, I really, this year 2026 is really, y'all, me trying to really love on me, like, for real, because I've been through so much, so much, so much. When I just say I felt beat up on, like, for real. And I don't had a cousin slap the mess out of me, cousin grabbed the mess out of me, cousin that came in this household that I got right now and act the fool in my house. Like, I done had to deal with so much that it's really time for me to choose me. Like, girl, why are you still trying to be family with these people that every time you round them, they just want to, they be cool one moment, but then the next moment they want to down you. You can't keep putting yourself in a situation like that, because I refuse to continue to get beat up on. Like, I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it. And if people don't want to have genuine relationships with me without the extraness, then I just can't do it. And I know that some people not gonna change, because that's what's embedded in them. They used to giving out biz. Like, they used to operating in drama and mess. And I'm not, like, I've seen it a whole lot, but that ain't what I want to be. That's not the person who I want to be. So I know I'm different from the rest. I know I am. I know I am. And I just really want to love on people. And if I have to love on you from a distance, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? I still love you no matter what. I never, cut off my love for people. I'll never do that. But so y'all, love on yourself when nobody else does. I know I probably done said that before, but it's like this story right here, y'all. I didn't even know I was still kind of hurt from this situation, just from family, period, because I don't talk about it. I don't talk about that situation anymore, and I'm really trying to get away from, just talking about the hurt and pain that I've been through. But like I said, I tell it to you guys simply because if anybody young come across my videos and they try to, they wondering or having problems with relationships, family relationships, and they need some kind of guidance or some kind of help, maybe you can see this video and know that, baby, it's not just you. We all go through things with our family, and uh, we just got to know what to turn to, because sometimes people are set in their ways that are not going to change. Like, some people may value you and change so that they can have you in their life, but other people, you know they be too caught up in their own ways that they can't change for you. Either you did like them for who they is and deal with them for who they is, or you choose yourself and you stand up for what you believe in, and you set boundaries. And that's pretty much what this is like for me. 2026, I pray I'm setting boundaries in my life. I love everybody, but I don't want to be a part of no mess. It is just, loving on me the way that I was supposed to love on me when I did not love on me. I was just trying to follow up behind people, and doing that really put me in messed up situations all the time. Even me deciding to do things put me in messed up situations. You know what I'm saying? So I don't blame everything on my family. I blame myself. Like I said, I apologized all last year, but this year I'm apologizing to myself, because at the end of the day, put myself in those situations. So I'm gonna learn how to do better by me. Do better by me. So I hated to make this video almost 40 minutes long, y'all. Please don't get bored with listening to my story. But I tried to shorten it up, but a couple more things came up, so I do apologize. Once I get it talking, I like to ramble a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because y'all ain't got no friends, so y'all my friends, so I ain't got no choice, you know what I'm saying? But so y'all, you know what I'm saying? Love on yourself. Do for you. I would say put yourself first, but you can do for other people, but don't get played with. Don't get played. Let people play your face. Choose you. Choose God, choose you, and then everybody else fall in place. So I love y'all. Y'all have a awesome day. Thursday, tomorrow's Friday, and we getting ready for the weekend, baby. So y'all have a good day. See y'all later. Bye-bye.